Hello everyone. In today's video, we are diving into another powerful multi-agent architecture called as network architecture. This is also known as swarm multi-agent system. In this, every agent is represented as a node in graph, and these nodes are connected to every another node, forming a many-to-many communication, which means that every agent can communicate with every another agent in this network. Also, each agent has ability to control the flow of execution of query, which means every agent can decide which agent should be called next. Unlike in supervisor architecture, where the flow is fixed, which was like when user asks query, it first goes to the supervisor, then to the agent, and eventually comes back to the supervisor. This flexibility in communication in this network architecture makes it perfect for scenarios where there is no fixed hierarchy or fixed sequence of steps to follow. Let's take an example. Here in this network, we have multiple agents including hotel agent and flight agent. When user asks query, it first taken by one of these agent, and selection of that agent is based on the one which was active in the last conversation, or just by setting one of these agent as default entry point to the network. For simplicity, let's take flight agent is our default entry point. Now we get three scenarios to discuss. The first is when the user's query is like book me a flight to New York. Here user's query requires action only from this entry point agent. Then flight agent works on it and passes the response back to the user directly. Simple. Now the second scenario is when user asks query like book me a flight to New York and book a hotel there. Here it requires action from flight agent as well as hotel agent. Now our entry point agent does its job and passes the flow to the hotel agent. Hotel agent does its job and passes response to the user. Okay. Now the third scenario is when user asks query like book me a hotel in New York. Now here the entry point agent action is not required. Then our entry point agent passes query directly to the hotel agent. Hotel agent does its job and passes the response back to the user. Okay, till now you must have got the flow of agents. Let's see this working in VS Code. Here in this example of network architecture, we have flight agent, hotel agent and a rental agent in our network. And as I mentioned earlier, I have set flight agent as our default entry point to this network. Now let us implement the discussed scenarios one by one. Here in the first scenario, I ask book a flight from Boston to New York. Here I expect only the action from flight agent. Now let's see. Here the network only called flight agent and give back the response. Alright. Now let's implement the second scenario. The query is like book a flight from Boston to New York and a stay at Royal Hotel. Here we expect action from both flight agent and a hotel agent. Here it called the flight agent and then the hotel agent and then give back the response, right? Okay, then the last scenario. In this last scenario, third scenario, we don't expect any action from the entry point agent, that is flight agent. Let's see. Here the query is book a room in Royal Hotel. Here it directly called the hotel agent and give back the response.